Hello, you guys. Welcome. We are doing this yet again. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer, and welcome to my bedroom. But whenever you see me in a robe and in my bedroom, that means I am quickly putting this together, and we'll probably be reading this chart together actually as I'm filming this. Today, going to discuss Hillary Clinton. Will she be president? Or will she be vice president? Let us check her out, shall we? If you are new here, please subscribe. Before we get started, a sponsor. Check out the word from my sponsor. Hello, my astrological lovers. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer, your favorite professional astrologer, matter of fact, dedicated to helping you unlock the secrets to your unique natal chart. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns repeat in your life? Why you may deeply connect with a certain person? Or what is your true calling meant to be in this lifetime? A full natal chart breakdown can provide profound insights into these questions and more. Your natal chart is a snapshot in the sky at the exact moment you were born, mapping out the positions of the planets in the sky and their influences on your unique personality, your strengths, your challenges, and your life's path. I will delve in each aspect of your chart, from your sun, your moon, your rising, and all the intricate interactions of planets and houses. This comprehensive analysis reveals your inherent talents, potential obstacles, and the lessons you are here to learn. Understanding your natal chart can provide psychological insights, helping you identify with your subconscious patterns and your emotional blocks. This knowledge is invaluable for your mental and emotional well-being, guiding you towards what you need to heal and grow. For just $150, and yes, I said the price, and some astrologers do not tell you the price, but I am here to tell you the price. This comprehensive breakdown is a great investment in yourself, comparable to multiple sessions with a therapist or even a life coach. However, this is different because this is your unique astrological perspective that can guide you for years to come. Plus, you'll always have a resource that you can always refer back to whenever you need guidance. Whether you are facing a challenging time or simply looking for direction, the insights from your natal chart can provide clarity and empower you to make informed decisions tailored specifically to you, providing insights for career, relationships, personal growth, and more. Invest in yourself and discover the wisdoms of the stars. Visit my website to purchase your full natal chart breakdown. Let's unlock your potential together. First of all, let's look at Hillary's chart, shall we? First thing that caught my eye, normally I go to see if they have, their rising, their sun, their moon, blah, 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 blah. However, immediately the stallions caught my eye. She has a stallion in Scorpio. Look at all those planets in the sixth house. I knew she gave major Virgo energy because the sixth house is like a comparison to Virgo. I'm not saying it's Virgo, but we can compare it to Virgo energy. And then she has Leo, a stallion in Leo, which totally makes sense, right? Because Leo represents a leader, presidents. But before we even go into predictions, let me look at her natal chart and let's just look and see a little bit how Hillary Clinton is, okay? Anytime we have stallions, though, it's going to put some intensity on that house. So her third house has some intensity and that sixth house has some intensity, and it's going to dominate her traits and her energies. So a lot of domination. She has a lot of focus and energy with things that resonate with the sixth house and Scorpio and Leo and third house. Also, too, when you have so many conjunctions, like all that Leo conjunction and all that Scorpio conjunction, it could be a little complex because conjunctions are good and bad, and they're very intense and strong together. So, and it's blending a lot of planets. and making them one. But let's go over and look at what immediately caught my attention, and that is that major sixth house in the sign Scorpio. Scorpio is so scary sometimes, especially with leaders, because that means that they're very secretive and they move in secrecy, even though I think her Mars is in Leo. So her moving is one way, but the Mercury is in Scorpio. So her thoughts and words could be very secretive. And Scorpio energy is like powerful. Also, it could be, okay, I'm just going to say it, Antichrist kind of energy. Listen, all you Hillary Clinton fans, I'm just telling you what the zodiac sign represents. I'm not telling you what she is, okay? But it does represent power. Whether you think it's negative or positive, I think that she has power, okay? Now, when you have it in a sixth house represents work. A lot of work, a lot of diligence, a lot of importance of work, it's almost like her public image, but it's not her public image. It's really about her job and her day-to-day task of working. It could also be on a positive side, like a healing planet, someone who is of public service, someone who gives service to others. So it's not just someone who has a strong work ethic, but it's also someone who has healing abilities or someone who is here to give service of others. So she has Mercury there. So it being in the sign Scorpio can represent transformation and power and obsession alone. And when she has Mercury in there, then the focus is on intensity of work and power of work and being obsessed with work. So she can have a very intense focus on themes regarding the sixth house. Also, there's power struggles too when you have that Scorpio energy. The sixth house, let me just give you some things also describing the sixth house besides Scorpio, okay? Just the sixth house alone is integration, the structure, and she has her sun in there. So that means it's really highlighting these things. Even though she has a stallion, it's really part of her identity, like making sure that every piece of every mechanic on this robot is working and working together. Also, people with sixth house placements, they're very aware of the hierarchy. Who's the boss here? Who's in charge? There's a strong awareness of that. And they're also very always concerned about prestige. They tend to put a lot of pressure on themselves regarding work. And there is a sense of perfectionism there in analyzing their moves. Well, I wouldn't say her moves, but how she's operating within work. Yeah, you could say moves because her son's in there, so that's physically how you achieve things too. There's leadership qualities. People who have placements in the sixth house could be a hypochondriac. I wonder if she's always like, I'm sick. What is my diagnosis? There is a fear of failure because of that perfectionism, inferiority complexes. Now, the Mercury in that sixth house is going to make her very clever, especially when it comes to work. She's a useful person when it comes to working. She can quickly pick up any field of her job. Flexible mind, always open to ideas and breaking them down. Great business acumen, skilled at negotiating. She can quickly portray her principles in the line of work, in pursuing her job. And she's the type probably that says, name that price, I'm sold. Now, she has Venus in that sixth house, and so that makes a lot of her coworkers really attracted to her, or people really attracted to the fact that she's a good worker. She could have a good team spirit, be the life of the party at work. Now, this also could be love affairs at work. So I know that her husband had a love affair at work, but I wonder if she has a love affair at work, and maybe that's why she is so forgiving. But besides that, I would think that she attracts a lot of people, gets a lot of support for being a hard worker. Chiron is in that house too. She may have some work-related wounds there, things that she needs to heal regarding being a workaholic. I assume that she's a workaholic with all these placements. And there's criticism and perfectionism there, and that probably is a wound that she needs to heal. Something that probably happened to her at around the age 12. Now, this is the ringer here. Her South Node is in this house and is conjunct these planets, and the South Node is talking about releasing. She needs to release the hard work here, and she's not. She has difficulty releasing her past life, and she's trying to live it in this current lifetime. Her intellect is distracting her from her life goal. She's stubborn and defensive and unteachable when people are saying, this is not what you're meant to do. She thinks she knows best. And she's probably an overthinker. Now, she is a Gemini rising, which is very interesting because that is the same as Kamala. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, but I'm saying that to say that Mercury is very important to her, and Mercury is also in that sixth house. It's also retrograding, and it is conjunct that south node, and it's opposing her north node. There is a strong emphasis there, and Gemini rising people are really great with words, really great with reading, really great with speaking and communicating and networking and socializing. With that said, she needs help, really big help on releasing and stop thinking about her past. Now, let's mosey on over to the ninth house, right? And it's very adventurous over there, and really higher learning. Also, publishing is really big there, and law. I'm not sure if she's a lawyer. Let me Google that real quick. Hillary Clinton has served as a Secretary of State, Senator from New York, First Lady of the United States, First Lady of Arkansas, a practicing lawyer and law professor. I mean, duh. I'm sure they're all lawyers, but that placement there would make me just, without even thinking much, if I didn't know anything about Hillary and I was just looking at her chart, I will wonder if she's a lawyer. But the midheaven in the ninth house in the sign Aquarius, which is interesting because Kamala has Saturn in the sign Aquarius. Anyway, so we'll get back to that a little bit later. So her moon is in the 10th house, and the moon in the 10th house makes her very popular. It's in the sign Pisces, so very compassionate with the popularity too. She probably needs recognition. She probably gets really insecure when not everyone is looking at her. A strong need for followers. She could be a narcissist too. Whenever the moon is placed in a natal chart, it's like a lack energy. Also intuitive. However, this makes sense. She really lacks in the career department. She feels insecure. I should say that more. She feels more insecure in the career department and her public image. Her losing against Trump really affected her ego. Now that moon is squaring Jupiter, and Jupiter in Sagittarius is in her 7th house of open enemies and lovers, so she's not listening to them. She doesn't even care emotionally what they are saying or what they're thinking. Also, Jupiter is at 0 degrees. It's very crucial and almost like immature, so it makes me think that her relationships are a little bit immature. Okay. Also, her open enemies could be a little immature, right? Because they're just starting this optimism or this being very out in the public, which represents Trump so much, but could also represent Clinton, Bill Clinton. Now, her moon in career is squaring Uranus in her 1st house. Also, Uranus in that 1st house is also going to give her the energy of being the first female to run for president. Uranus is very different, and it represents her public image and what we see her as. Now, the moon squaring that moon can represent a few things. Now, the moon to me represents America, her home, and it's squaring that different, her being different, and that public image of being a woman. So, a lot of people probably didn't like that when she was running for president. At the same time, she emotionally does not like things that are unstable and things that are different. Even though she is, a representation of herself different, because she is a female of power running for president. Now, the moon is trining her sun, which is very interesting because that moon trining her sun makes her have a great balance between her masculine and feminine energy. And you totally see that with her. She is great with work, and personal opinion, I honestly wouldn't have a problem. I'm not a Democrat, so let me give that disclaimer, but she would be a female president that I feel like can hold her own and be strong with masculine energy. And she just seems very strong, even though I know she's a female. And I know that may sound sexist to a lot of people, but there's some females who are just females, just straight up. I'm just being real and honest, okay? And she is someone who seems very tough, and like she can stand her own with that. And that is that moon trining that sun. So it's very positive. Also, there's probably a lot of energy there too. That now that Uranus in that 1st house does make her different, does make her unique, could make her full of ideas, make her quick and witty. Also, she's probably very full of herself with the fact that she's different and unique, even though there is like an emotional insecurity there. Quickly, the stallion in that 3rd house in the sign Leo. Leo represents presidencies and leadership. She has Mars in the third house, so she really pursued things through her words, through her self-expression, with her being a boss. So, you know, I really haven't heard her speeches, but I'm sure that's how she's achieving things, maybe even through emails. Pluto is a sign of power. Saturn is going to limit this leadership here, so that is very interesting too. And it's conjunct that Pluto. It makes me think that she's limited with power as well. Now her Pluto and Mars is conjunct exactly at 14 degrees, and there's a fixed star that is when she was born exactly there at 14 degrees, and it's called Dubhe. I don't know how to pronounce the fixed star, okay, but there is a fixed star there, and the fixed star represents strength and authority, protection and power, and that makes her very strong. And it also is a very fixed nature. Leo's already fixed sign, but this makes it very stubborn and like, I'm not going to budge, you know. So she has that strength, that power, and I'm not going to stop doing what I'm going to do. Now, it's conjunct Pluto and Mars. So this really affects how she achieves things. This really affects her power. She's a very powerful person, and we may not know how powerful she is behind scenes, you know, because Pluto does represent things that are very mysterious. And Mars also represents conflict and war, just to let you know. That's what the planet represents. And Leo represents leadership. I keep saying that, but I just want you to understand that her leadership with conflict and war, and her leadership and her power may be hidden and may be behind the scenes. And it could be very powerful with that fixed star. I need to do research on that. That's a whole different video, but this video is about, is she going to be president? So just be aware that that is there. And we'll look back into that another day, maybe when we talk about secret societies or something like that. But this conjunction with Pluto is profound leadership, and it conjunct Leo is determined action, dynamic energy, and also leadership as well. So that is what we have with our natal chart. Let's go and mosey on to the Democratic Convention, right? This is where I would think Kamala or the Democratic Party is going to make a huge announcement, and we're going to know who's going to be Kamala's vice president, even if Kamala, is she even going to be announced? Because I think they have to announce her, and I don't know the rules of the Democratic Party, so this makes it hard because I am an astrologer. I'm not really into politics, so this is where I just have to tell you what the stars are saying, and maybe you, if you are a viewer who is really into politics, can write in the comments and tell me how this makes sense. So first of all, the day of the convention, right, we have a full moon in Aquarius. Now, I don't know who scheduled this Democratic convention, but they may know astrology, or maybe it's coincidence. We'll say that they know astrology, but that full moon in Aquarius represents things that are different, things that are very out of the box, and you know, female black president or a female Indian president or female mixed race president is very different, okay? And so you have that element, and you already have that happening during the Democratic Party. And last time we had a full moon is when Biden decided to step down. So you have that. We'll talk about the Democratic Party in another video. I know I keep saying another video, but this one really, because I think this one needs its own video, because I need to talk about what's happening in the sky that day and how it affects Kamala. But yes, but just that alone I can go in really fully in, but we're focused on Hillary. So the full moon, first of all, is like on the top of her chart, so it's highlighting some stuff here, and there could be climax happening in regards or something that's being published, right? Published is usually the 9th house or worldwide, right? So the day before the convention, we will probably have a huge announcement, and I wonder if that's when they will announce the vice president. But the day that the convention starts, we have her sun sitting right on top of her Saturn. Now she's born at night, so Saturn is hard no for her, and it makes me think that the ego and the pride and what she's trying to physically achieve is being limited and restricted. So, you know, I thought there was hope for her. I thought she was going to be announced. I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have 2 females in it, but you know, if it's 2 females, I don't think it's going to be her, but we'll just keep looking. Now, when you have a conjunction, it could be good or bad. So this could be bad, or it could be good. She could be, the sun is highlighting her Saturn, and Saturn does represent government. So this could be happening. And Saturn's in the third house of speeches, okay, and communication. Now, Mercury is retrograding, and that is conjunct her Saturn too. And usually Mercury conjunct Saturn is like you're thinking through something to the end. The Kazemi is like clarity and really thinking about it and taking your time and thinking about it. But this makes me think there could be a block in her communication or a block in an announcement in some way, okay? Just to me, it doesn't seem positive. When I looked at this, I was like, it's not going to be her. This is just what I'm thinking. This is me putting my opinion into the video. Now, she could either have difficulties in talking. They're probably restricting her in talking. I don't know how much power she has, but that's just what I'm thinking. Now, because she has a night chart, Venus is really important to her and Saturn is really important to her. Mercury, remember, is her ruling planet, and whatever Mercury is doing, that's going to affect her. So this Kazemi, whether it's good news or bad news, it's going to really affect her because she's a Gemini rising, the same as Kamala. Kamala is a Gemini rising, so Mercury is really important to her as well. Now, since Venus is positive, Venus in the sign Virgo, and when I was looking at Kamala's chart, I was like, oh, Venus in the sign Virgo, that's Hillary. And I've never looked at Hillary's chart, but I was like, Hillary gives me major Virgo energy, and we have that stallion. Anyway, so Venus is going to be in a sign of Virgo, and Virgo really resonates with that sixth house. So this could be positive for Hillary. And it's also sextiling all of her sixth house planets. So that could be very positive for her. Venus is in the fourth house of home, so she could be attracting a lot of people who are American, and also it's sextile her Venus, so a lot of attention, a lot of support, a lot of money thrown her way. Venus is also sextile her Mercury, which is retrograding in her planet, so announcements could be very positive for her. So it's back and forth. However, my intuition is saying it's still a no for her because Saturn just seems very strong, and Saturn doesn't seem like it's playing well for her during the Democratic convention because Saturn is squaring Uranus in the sky, and Uranus is in the house of hidden enemies. So it makes me think that the surprises and the different, things that are a little different and out of box, Saturn is like, no, we're limiting you and this is not going to work. Okay, we're putting restrictions and you got to take your time, or maybe an older man is going to take and surprise you and take your power. Just throwing that out there. Saturn in Leo could be an older leader, okay, who's a male, father figure kind of energy. Also, this full moon in Aquarius is squaring her North Node. And yeah, that's where it really just got me to say, no, it's not happening for her. The sun in Leo, which is the sun, and this Mercury, which is that Kazemi, is also squaring her North Node. So that's another no. Also, this full moon is squaring her open enemies. So this could be kind of positive, I think. Or maybe there is a challenge from her open enemies and they're not here for her. They could be saying things about her. Yeah, it just doesn't seem positive for her during the Democratic Party. Now, let's mosey on to the inauguration. Okay, so this is where the plot really thickens, okay? As I'm looking at the chart, and I'm looking down here because the chart's on my iPad, okay? During the inauguration, you guys, it looks so positive for her. The women, it looks so positive the inauguration day. She is like happy. Jupiter is conjunct her ascendant, okay? That is very optimistic. Everyone is looking at you. Everyone's happy. You are being published, okay? When I say published, I just think Jupiter as published, but like you're really being pushed out in the world, and it's very positive and optimistic. Everyone's looking at you in a very positive, optimistic way. She has all these planets in the fourth house, just like Kamala will have all these planets in the not fourth house, in the 10th house, which is great. And Saturn usually in that 10th house during inauguration day is someone who's going to be president. So there is that, I mean, we could look at 1 million people in their charts and they can have Saturn in the 10th house, but how many people are actually in the spot to get acknowledged that they are going to be president? Also, it is trining her 6th house. Venus is trining her Venus, and talk about the attraction and the support Oh my gosh. I just, I'm shocked because I'm looking at this in real time that you're looking at this. And Saturn is even Saturn is even trining her Venus. And yeah, Saturn in Pisces is hitting government. However, hidden motives with government and boundaries that are not being very clear. However, it does represent the government and it's very positive. So, whether she's going to be president or not, she is sitting very, very happy, okay? Because these planets are all trining all that hard work that she really believes in her work ethics. It's trining her, it's all working in her benefit. Now, Uranus is going to sit on her north node too. So, expecting the unexpected is good and bad, okay? There could be good surprises or negative surprises. Is in that 12th house of secrets, so we may not know what that's going to be about, but it is conjuncting her north node. So there could be some surprises secretly that is dealing with her future that we don't know about. And it's also, the surprise is going against her Mercury. So this could be negative here. And that Mercury energy of announcements and discussions, there could be some surprises there. And she may not like them. I mean, they can't see eye to eye. However, her north node is sextiling Mars. It's not as strong as the trines, but her achieving things for her future, that's working out, and she's secretly achieving them because that's 12th house energy, and she is working towards what she values. In the sign Cancer, Mars is in the sign Cancer retrograding, so she could be doing it in a shady way, but she is dealing with something that's dealing with the homeland and achieving it, and it works out for her. So, I'm going to pull some tarot cards because, when astrologers were looking at COVID, they knew something interesting is the word I'll use was going to happen. Well, okay, I'll just say bad. No one thinks COVID is good. They knew that something bad was going to happen. However, they couldn't really explain COVID because they never lived through it. So let me pull my tarot deck. My tarot deck is on my bed. Hold on, let me get the cards. Let's pull some cards on Hillary and let's see if she's going to be president. Okay. Will Hillary Clinton be announced that she's president at the Democratic Party? Three of Wands, people are still doing their research. Are they going to make the announcement? This makes me think also higher ground, the world is at her fingertips. This could be a yes, you guys, okay? Will she be president or vice president? Six of Coins in reverse. No, okay? Basically, with the Six of Coins in reverse, it means that there is some imbalance of resources. People don't have her back. No one's supporting her. Lack of support. Maybe there's some unfair practices or favoritism. But yeah, she's not getting the support. No one's giving to her because this normally means charity. And if it was in the upright, I would say it's very positive. But during the Democratic convention, even though it seems opposite with the astrology, it's saying, the world is at her fingertips. So at the Democratic Party, maybe people are supporting her. There is a positive outlook. People are planning and maybe their strategy in supporting her. And there's opportunities on a horizon. However, far as president, people are not really supporting it. Doesn't mean she won't win. It's just that people are not supporting it. They are not giving her, they're not supporting her. Okay, so that is what we have, you guys. I don't know if this was detailed enough because it was really spontaneous of me, okay? And I was looking at the chart hand in hand with you. I usually just take some time, really jot down some notes, but I am hungry and I am intermittent fasting, and I have a long day today. So I tried to do this fast, and I know a lot of people want me to research Gavin Newsom. I'm going to look him up really quick. Not today, tomorrow. I'm going to look up Gavin Newsom, and I'm going to look up, people wrote names down. So Robert Kennedy, I'm going to look him up. Even I said I was going to do Michelle because I really wanted to do Michelle, and I should probably listen to my intuition and do Michelle. But yes, that is what we have. Okay, so I wanted to look at the eclipse too with Hillary. We didn't look at Kamala, but I just want to quickly say this eclipse for Hillary is in her fifth house. The fifth house could also represent leadership in regards to relationships. There is going to be an announcement with this eclipse, and the eclipse is usually cutting things out. because you see the eclipse that is happening October 2nd, which is usually cutting things out, okay, it's making things known, is going to conjunct Mercury. Is also going to be on top of her Neptune, and Neptune is really about things that are not very clear. So this eclipse could be making things, announcements that's very unclear regarding her leadership as well. Now, if we go to the next eclipse, which is September 17th, this eclipse here, which is also cutting things out, and this eclipse is in the sign Pisces. Yeah, and this is sitting on top of her moon. I find that to be very strong. There's also some illusions here and some secrets and some things that are very unknown to us with this Pisces energy, and it's regarding her career. Remember, there's insecurity here, and there's this sense of she's very serious about her career, and she would do anything she needs to do because she's so insecure about it. And that's conjunct. It's almost like it's stronger here with this. And this full moon is a lunar full moon. So that means the sun is sitting opposing all of this here. So I'm thinking there's some secrets regarding this eclipse. And there's something that's going to be released, or maybe a self-sacrifice of some sort. But these two eclipses are really big for her regarding her career. Clearly here because it's in her house of career, but also with leadership with the other eclipse. So I'm curious to see what happens with leadership. I looked at her solar return chart, and her ascendant is in the 7th house with that chart. So that's about open enemies. That's not really the focus this year it also could be dealing with law too, with her open enemies, but it's not, or just law, and it's just not dealing with her career. So maybe there won't be an adjustment with her career, or maybe she's doing something with law this year. Okay, so yeah, that is what we have, and yeah, just wanted to throw that out there because I didn't put that in the video. Also, I am filming this Sunday, June 27th, just so you know the day and time. All right, I will see you guys next time, and if I didn't do enough on Clinton, I will do more on her tomorrow, okay, at my live video. So that will be saved and that will be put up. I will see you next time. Bye.